In this example on inequalities, taking a look at inequality regions. Now what we've been given here is two inequalities that we want to draw and then label the region that satisfies both of those inequalities. So the first thing we're going to do here is take both our inequalities and write them as equations. So in that case what we obtain here is y equals x squared minus x minus 2. And we also obtain y equals 4 here. Okay. Now with both of these equations, what we want to simply do is draw both of these equations. So clearly my first equation here will be a quadratic, and my second equation here is just going to be a straight line. Now if we draw the quadratic first here, what we want to check is whether this factorizes. And in this case, with this quadratic, this does factorize. What we obtain here is x plus 1 times by x minus 2 there. So here, if we quickly draw this quadratic, it's going to cut through minus 1 here on the x-axis. That's our first root here, and our second root is positive 2. Okay, so we just say those are roughly the points there, minus 1 and 2 along the x-axis. So just jot that in, that's the x-axis, that's the y-axis. And then it cuts through the y-axis at minus 2. So we could say that's there. Okay. So what we want to do now is just simply sketch this quadratic. Again, it doesn't have to be perfect, just so we can draw it and then draw the other line here of y equals 4, and we can sketch the region. So in that case here then, let's do this in a different colour pen just so we can see it clearly now. What I'm going to do first is just do the outline and then we'll join it up. So it's going to look something roughly like this here. Okay, don't have to be perfect, just so we can see the outline here. So if we join this up here, and that gives us y equals x squared minus x minus 2. Okay, so that's the red sketch there. We also need y equals 4. And again, let's do this in a different pen colour here. If we just note down first where 4 is on the y-axis, if we say that's there, then y equals 4 would simply be a straight line. However, we just have to be slightly careful here. If we just take a look at our inequality here, this is a strict inequality. Y is strictly less than 4. So in that case, this must be a dashed line. So again, if we do this in a different colour here, this is just going to be a straight line. Okay. Okay, just make sure that it's a dashed line there for y equals 4. Okay. So here now, all we simply need to do is just label the region. And the region here, if we do this in a different pen colour, say we do it in green here, the region that we need is simply going to be everything here. Okay, so that's the region that we need there. So if we label that R, that's the region that we need here, everything shaded in green. And we can also try a point here just to verify this region. So let's say we have the point 0, 0. So take the point 0, 0. Well, let's double check this now against both inequalities here. So 0, hopefully, is greater than or equal here to 0 squared minus 0 minus 2. And clearly in this case, 0 is greater than or equal to minus 2. So it holds for this inequality. All we need to double check now is whether it holds for the second inequality. And clearly here, 0 is less than 4 here. Okay. So again, it holds for the second inequality. And in that case, we know that region then that we've shaded is correct. So that gives us the solution there to our example on inequality regions.